session of the day. Straight into the wrap-up after this, so thank you all for persevering to the end. So my talk today is the art of doing less, how to get people to contribute to your module. So I'm not going to say much about myself. I'm James. I'm part of the mentoring team. I organise the Drupal event calendar, or Drupal advent calendar. So watch out for that in December. And I'm a big Lego fan, so I'll throw in a few Lego pictures during it. So very briefly, what we're going to cover. My story about a contribution thing that happened for me. A little bit about why contribution is good and why we want it. And I'm going to talk about how we can use contribution in client projects. And then I'm going to go into how we create issues that people will contribute to. So start with a little story. Earlier this year, I created a new module. The actual module isn't very relevant to this, but it was about, I had a form on my website. I needed, when it's submitted, that the person submitting, we have a valid email address. And in a Drupal context, it makes sense for them to be logged in. So, but I didn't want them to have to go through a complex create user process. So this module creates a form with an email box on it. You enter your email, it logs you in. If you have an existing user account, it logs that in. If you don't have an account, it creates one for you, and you never have to worry about a password. So this seemed a simple enough module to create. So I did look at what other modules were out there, and there were some things that were kind of along the right lines, but nothing that seemed to fit my purpose. So I created a module, and I created a bunch of issues as my planning process, and I was fully expecting I was going to do all the coding on this, but I basically was planning my work and filling in what I wanted to do on each issue. And I worked through a couple of these, and then I went to look at issue number 3, and this is what I found. Somebody said, "Can I work on this?" And before I even replied, they had actually assigned it to themselves, and they created a merge request. And this was pretty awesome. I stressed this module was a week old at this point, so I had really blown away that anybody would start contributing to something at that point. But
how did they find out that your module existed?
I'll talk a little about that later. But basically, I went through their issue. There were a few things I wanted them to change, so I updated it, or I put some comments in the code with the GitLab UI. I set it back to needs review, or back to needs work. This is my comment, and then I've just paused myself. Sorry. Then this happened. A second person worked on it. So now I've had 2 people contributing to it. So this was pretty awesome, and I was sort of, well, how can I use this? But there were a couple of back and forth, but we got the issue merged, and I thanked the people, and of course give them contribution credit. I don't know if some of you mightn't have seen this yet. This is the new contribution credit screen. It didn't actually look like this when I did it, but I thought I'd throw it in here. But that's going to be part of moving to GitLab for issue management, which is happening soon, I believe. Since that I have not done any of the coding on this module. I've created issues. I've let other people do them, and we've had over 30 issues closed. At least 8 different people have worked on it. I might have missed 1 or 2, but I've got it to an alpha release at the moment, and I'm using it on a couple of sites. and I have more development planned for it, which I plan to keep using contribution for this. So I'm just ecstatic that people are contributing to my module, and and that's sort of, I think it's something that I've been trying to sort of learn what makes issues attractive for people to pick up. So, but first I want to say a little bit about why do we want contribution, because could I have done all the development of this module myself? Yeah, I could have, but first of all, always good to have more eyes on your work, and I'm working on this project on my own. So if I was doing the coding on it, I would be doing the reviewing, I'd be doing the releases. So it would be all my I wouldn't be the only one looking for problems with it, and I am very bad at reviewing my own work. I'm sure some of you can relate. So if in some cases you might have a colleague you can say, can you review this for me? But when it's a project you're working on your own, that can be tricky. And I often find people are more willing to write code than they are to review code. So if you can get other people to write the code and then review it, then that's double the eyes on it. And one other point I find is I can be working on code on one project, and that's using sort of one part of my brain, and I can then be opening issues for a different one, which isn't using quite the same part of your brain. So it can be a great way of kind of moving forward multiple projects at once. So a little bit about what's in it for me as a maintainer. It's covered some of this, but it gets more contribution to the module. It builds a community of people who understand the module. It avoids me reviewing my own code, and it helps me develop my own mentoring and leadership skills. And what's in it for the contributor? First of all, it helps them to, I think sometimes it can be hard to find issues that you can work on as a contributor. So creating issues that help contributors find things to work on is great. It helps them develop their development experience, helps them learn about the module, helps them learn about the Drupal contribution process, and of course it earns them contribution credit. So hopefully you all know about the Drupal contribution credit system, but I have a slide about that. So just a very brief summary. Drupal contribution credit system is a way of rewarding people for participating in the Drupal project. It may not reward you the same way as money, but it can help your career, it can help your company. So project maintainer can award credit to users who make a meaningful contribution to resolving an issue. User can specify the organization supporting their contribution. So that could be your employer, or it could be, in some cases other people are being sponsored by an organization. And it can be, you can specify what customer you are working on behalf of. So you can say, I'm working on this issue for company X on behalf of client Y. And Drupal certified partners are ranked on the Drupal listing according to their contribution. So,
ladies and gentlemen, do not miss the wrap-up of the event at 6 o'clock in the auditorium. This is the time to share the last moment all together.
So the organisation supported the contribution. So I got slightly muddled there. It basically give me 1 second. So basically, you can.
Everything's fine.
Thank you.
Continue on.
Yeah. So basically, it gives your organisation can improve their ranking. You can improve your career prospects. Your customers can meet their contribution goals. So that's contribution credit is one of the big tools that Drupal has. There's a few others that I think really aid with contribution, and Drupal was kind of in a slightly niche ecosystem of things like patches, and so the Drupal issue queue is currently a Drupal site. It's soon going to be moving into GitLab. That's going to give us things like Markdown in comments, which I think is going to make life easier. I think it's going to make it a little more streamlined and a little more in line with other open source projects. Merge requests moved from, we used to use patches, which were kind of hard to work with.
Evil.
And we've actually, so I believe we moved to merge requests in November 2020, so almost 5 years ago. Pipelines for testing, so we can use, we had a Drupal CI which we've moved into GitLab CI, which makes things a bit more standard, lets us test against multiple versions of Drupal, multiple versions of PHP, and we can incorporate code quality checks, so like spell checks, coding standards, static analysis, CSS checks. So can you use this for client projects? So I think a lot of time in client projects people use a custom module, and I would challenge, how much do we need custom modules? So reasons people might use custom modules. First, client requirements aren't met by an existing module. I think sometimes we don't look hard enough to see, is there a module that does nearly what we want, that we could maybe get features added to true contribution to make it do what we want. I think much better to either use an existing contribution module or create a new contribution module if at all possible. An excuse I've sometimes heard is the requirement is too small to need a contrib module. But if you're creating the same custom module for 3 or 4 different clients, then why not make it a contrib module? Because if you need it for multiple clients, there's a very good chance other people would benefit from it too. Another reason might be a client won't pay for open source development. So I think you need to sell them on that and convince them it's not going to cost them a lot more, convince them that that's going to benefit them in the long run. The one that might be a valid reason is if the requirements have client secrets or proprietary information. But I think trying to partition it so that make the proprietary part as small as possible, and then anything that can be in contrib development, try and put it there. So most important thing is if you are going to use contrib for client work, you need to get them to buy in. So look for agreement right at the start of the project, because if you do a lot of development and then think, oh, this could be a great contrib module, you then have to try and say, we've built this, can we make it contrib? And your client is sort of, wait, I paid for that, that's mine, I should own it, why am I going to give it away for free? And also, very often to make it into contrib, it's going to need extra work. So not only are you asking them to give away what they think they own, you're asking them to pay for more work to actually make it contrib. So it's kind of convince the client at the beginning of the project that they will benefit from making it an open source project, and basically as soon as you have that agreement, create the project, start and start opening issues on it. So finally we get to how do you create issues that people contribute to. So what's the secret sauce? Well, truth is there isn't one weird trick that will make people contribute to your project, but I have some principles that I think will really help. So first one, well the major thing is try and tailor your issue to appeal to contributors. Make it as tightly focused as you can. So make an issue about one thing only. So if there's going to be several different things in an issue, try and split that into several smaller ones. Ask, look at things and say, is there a way I could make this into two smaller issues? If something is going to be a big change, rather than try and do it all in one big issue, create a meta issue that links a number of related issues together, and then to do each step in one change. Make use of the issue template. So the default template for issues has all of these sections. So we're getting a bit tight in time, so I'm going to say this very briefly, but in the problem motivation field, try and say what is the problem we're trying to solve in one paragraph. Don't get into huge detail on it, but try and be as clear as possible on what it is you're trying to do. And if you can't do it in one paragraph, that might be a sign that it's too big for one issue. The steps to reproduce. If it's a bug, then try and put in the step-by-step guide to reproduce that, preferably from a clean Drupal install. If it's a new feature, try and describe what's happening now, or in some cases it won't be relevant at all. Proposed resolution, brief summary of what you want to do to fix it, remaining tasks, step-by-step guide to resolving the issue. Then the last three vary from issue to issue, so I think that will be specific to an issue. When an issue has been worked on, try and review it as quickly as you can, keep things moving. Use GitLab. You can comment on individual lines of code and make suggestions there. That's really helpful. Always thank people for their contribution, even if it's going in the wrong direction. When it's closed, promptly grant credit. Reward everybody who's made a meaningful contribution, and try and keep your module moving forward. So have the next issue ready for people to start working on. Sometimes you'll have an issue and nobody will bite. So if nobody's taking the bait, you need to give it a review. Is the issue too broad? Can you split part of it into another issue? Does the problem describe it clearly? Have you enough detail in the steps to resolve it? And sometimes just bumping the issue by making a small change will make somebody notice it and pick it up. So I think this is my last slide. Is this abusing the credit contribution system? I think not. I think as long as the issues you're creating are doing something meaningful to move the module forward, I don't see any issue with creating lots of small issues. It's basically contribution credit is our carrot to get people to work on our issues, and I don't think there's anything wrong with being generous in how much of it we reward people with. So very briefly, we talked about how to create a module, how to get people to contribute, why we need contribution, how we can use it in client projects, and how to create issues people will engage with. And thank you very much for coming. I don't think we have any time for questions. Let's go for the wrap up. But if any of you are interested in the slides, I had to cut a load of slides off, so there's more details in the slides if you're interested. You can either follow the link or use the QR code. And thank you very much for coming. I hope you've had a fantastic DrupalCon. I hope we'll see you all at the contribution day tomorrow, because that's going to be where the real action happens. And the mentors will be ready to help you with that. And thank you again. Chris.
Yeah, that one.